Yeah, hi. My name is Paul Revard. I am Osage, of course, and have quite a family has quite a history here in Osage County. Very proud of my heritage. I'm an oil and gas producer, mostly in Oklahoma and Texas. I concentrated my exploration and development primarily here in Osage County. Starting in 1977 is when I drilled my first well here. I was only 25 years old. I had joined my father's oil company. He was active here in Osage County. He was also a petroleum geologist. He served on the tribal council 2 different times, once in the mid-60s, then again in the 80s, as did my great-grandfather. He served 30 years on the tribal council, and then additionally, he served 12 years as the secretary for the tribe. He was the tribe's interpreter too. I have experience in oil and gas development. I have a passion for this particular area. It's where I cut my teeth. It's where my family's from. My father was raised here in Pahaska. Have oil and gas experience from both sides of the family. My mother's father started drilling wells here in Osage County in the 50s. So I'm kind of the 3rd generation oil guy on both sides of the family that operates here in Osage County. I'm pretty much towards the end of my career. I'm semi-retired. I still have a few properties here in Osage and also a few in the Abilene, Texas area. But I felt like it was time for me to step up and serve. I think, and I see, and I have seen over the decades, various changes involving our mineral estate, with not only the fluctuation of oil and gas prices, but also the relationship that the producers have with the Bureau of Indian Affairs. So this is something that I know a lot about, and I think I have something quite a bit to contribute. And I feel like it's my time to step up and see if I can help contribute to our cause of primarily increasing our headright checks by the means of producing more oil. So that's kind of why I'm running. Well, I attended Catholic elementary school, 1st grade through 8th. Graduated 8th grade, went into Bishop Kelly High School, where I graduated in 1970. From there, I went to Northeastern A&M. It used to be a junior college when I went there, studying geology. That was my major. After my first year there, I went to OU for 2 years, also studied geology at OU. Then I went to OSU and transferred out of the arts and science and went into the business school and studied petroleum land management. Learned how to run title, check records, oil and gas leases, all types of agreements that have to do with the oil and gas industry. From there, I went to work for Halliburton Services in Duncan, Oklahoma. Halliburton is a international service company that performs acid, frac, and cementing services all around the world. After 1 year of them, I had a newborn. I was supposed to go overseas with Halliburton, but they weren't going to let the baby go with us, or my wife and the baby. So I left Halliburton and joined my father in 1977. And I worked with him on and off during the years until his death in 1991. And from there on, I had been on my own, been self-employed for 41 years. I've had well servicing companies. I was part owner of Illinois Industry Inc. in Fairfax. We later changed the name to Transatlantic Resource. But we had service rigs, pole rigs and derrick rigs. We had vacuum trucks, reverse circulators, and all types of equipment to assist the producers. In addition to drilling wells under those names also. I've drilled wells here in Osage County probably under 5 or 6 different entity names. But that's kind of my background for education. Yeah, I have quite a bit that I'd like to say. And not all of it's positive, and I try to be positive. We have been devastated by the new policies implemented by the Bureau of Indian Affairs. Specifically, Superintendent Robin Phillips is, I'm sure, implementing policies that are dictated to her from her superiors. So I understand that, but I think that we, if elected, I would like to sit down with her, have this new mineral council with the current council members and any of the new ones that might be fortunate to get elected, to put together a list of the things that we feel like need to be addressed and changed, and try to start with a fresh slate with the superintendent and see if we can't come to some agreements to improve things, to lift some of the burdens off the producers. If we can't get anywhere with that, well, then I'd like to put more pressure on the federal government by either going to her superiors or even going around the Bureau of Indian Affairs and maybe go directly to the Department of Interior in Washington. I know that our chief and our current council members have been to Washington on multiple occasions. Not positive as to what degree of success they've had, because frankly, they haven't been that transparent with the shareholders as to exactly what's going on. Some of it they say is attorney-client privilege is why they can't discuss it, but there needs to be more transparency. And I would certainly like to implement, if elected, a better means to communicate on a more regular basis to let our shareholders or other annuitants know what's going on. There's so many that just wonder and just assume that nothing's going on because they don't hear about it. And I'd like to have more of a regular means of communication, whether it be posting something online, but more frequently than what the current council members do. It may be through Facebook and other multimedia, social media means to do so. But there's a lot of improvement to be made. One thing I'd like to do, if and when we can get these policies changed to where the producers can get back to work, I would be extremely helpful in promoting Osage County again. It doesn't do any good right now to go out and advertise Osage County, but nobody can do anything. None of the producers can get permits approved on a timely basis. And there's just so many restrictions. But if we can get these removed, I would be very useful at attending trade shows and advertisement and getting out to the rest of the country to let them know that Osage County is back in business. And I would be a great cheerleader for that. And I think that we could create a new boom here in Osage County. Like other places, with the price of oil, $67, $68, there's activity all around us. Kay County, Pawnee County, some of our operators went into southern Kansas, and they don't have to deal with these overburdening regulations that we have to right now. We can get them to come back, but there's just no reason to get out ahead of ourselves. We got to get things more business friendly here in Osage County, and then once we do, then we need to hit the road and sell Osage County again. And so I think I would be a good advocate for Osage.